All right, all right, all right. We're back here coming to you from the Rock Cave here at Song of the Day. I'm your host, Mark Pierce, as usual. I think everyone knows what today is. If not from my jacket, just, I don't know. Fridays tend to creep up on you slowly, and then you're glad they're here. Although many of us in the pandemic don't know what day it is. Groundhog Day, right? But here at Song of the Day, we all know what Fridays are. You got to say it with me. It comes, deep from the gut here. It's OCTANE Friday. That's right, people. I know you're looking forward to it. Everyone loves Friday music, right? Today is no exception. I know I've been serving up a lot of softballs, and that'll continue, but it won't all be hairband music. It'll be plenty of good old 70s rock and roll, some are newer stuff, grunge, some heavy stuff. We'll definitely get to some heavy stuff, but I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, at least for today. And part of it is the calendar, because I do have a list going of things that happened in history that are coming down the pike. So I got you covered, all of you. Today we're going back to this time in 1988. Trending up the charts and hitting platinum status this week in June of 88 is the 10th studio album by the band The Scorpions. And that is Savage Amusement. I don't know if a lot of you remember this album, but to me this was a great album. I played this album, especially the first side, a lot when it came out. So, lots to listen to here as far as I'm concerned. But let's talk about Scorpions first, and then we'll get to this album. Scorpions, if you were asked, when do you think the Scorpions were formed, what would you say? I know what I would say. I would say probably the mid-70s, maybe even the early 70s. And it turns out they were formed in 1964. 64. That's insane, right? Certainly not with the lineup that we all know, but that's when the band was formed, and it was formed in Hanover, Germany, and they were just known for being pretty hard rock, heavy rock, pretty much right from the beginning. A lot of lineup changes in the 70s, but their golden years, where everyone that my age knows them, was from 79 to 92. 92 being that song Winds of Change. But that's where everyone knows them from. They put out 6 albums in the 80s, 4 studio, 1 live, and 1 greatest hits. In the 70s, there's not really much to report about their career in the 70s as far as the mid-70s are concerned. I mean, it's typical. They would put out albums and kind of slow increase in followers and things like that. They did get into a little hot water. They had a little bit of trouble in the mid to late 70s with their album covers. They really just couldn't get away from just putting out these album covers that just wouldn't pass muster for anything mainstream today. And sometimes they would get banned, sometimes they would get changed, but they really just it wouldn't fly very well today as far as mainstream stuff is concerned. Of course, they hit it really big with MTV and No One Like You. We'll get to that another time. We'll get to some of their stuff that from that time frame, obviously, on another day. But let's get to Savage Amusement. They're coming. That's their first album coming off of Love It for Sting, which was huge. Obviously, the one that really put them in to the popularity with Still Loving You and Big City Nights, all those great songs. Rhythm of Love comes out. It's a little different type of music. They are still kind of heavy rock, but they also add a synthesizer, as so many did in the 80s. And so there is a little bit different feel to it. It's the only album that they really went in that direction. After that, they parted ways with their producer and went back to kind of some more of what they were used to doing. But this particular album still had some of the core members, or at least a few of the core members, Rudolf Schenker being the founding member. His brother, Michael Schenker, was in the band early on, and for those of you who were paying attention, he left and joined UFO and then later his own group, the Michael Schenker Group. But that's his brother, who was a founding member. So, this album, what's on this album? You got Rhythm of Love, Don't Stop at the Top. Were those the two? And Passion Rules the Game. Those were the three ones that got radio play. And then they also have the song Walking on the Edge, which for me is a deep cut. That's a really great song. Great songs. Again, some of it's pretty heavy. Don't Stop at the Top would be my first choice as far as one of my favorites. It's not the song of the day, but maybe I'll post it below as well, just because that's, if you're not familiar with that song, it's a good one. They did a tour for Savage Amusement. It was huge. They actually the second band, Western band, not American band, but Western band to play in the Soviet Union. The first one being Uriah Heep, oddly enough. But that actually gave them a huge fan base in the Soviet Union for that whole time, and that's really helped catapult them. A little bit later, when Roger Waters did his concert for The Wall, when the Berlin Wall came down, and they did that reenactment of the album The Wall, which I was not too keen on when it first came out, but now I can revisit some of it and appreciate it. But they did the version of In the Flesh for that, which is pretty cool. So, back to Song of the Day. We're going with The Rhythm of Love. I think you'll probably know it because it was a pretty big hit. And if you don't, check it out because it's a great Octane Friday song. We'll put one other one under there. And hey, enjoy your Friday. We'll have a great day. It's Octane Friday, like I said. Turn it up to 11. And we'll see you on the flip side.